Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is July 11th, 2019, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the major economic events of the day, starting at 12 o'clock South African time out of United Kingdom, Bank of England Governor Carney will be speaking, and that should add some light into the GBP. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. And then later in the day at 2:30 South African time out of the United States, monthly core CPI numbers. It's an inflationary number. I don't think it's going to shake and rattle the markets. Unless there's any surprises there. And lastly, at 4 o'clock South African time, Fed Chairman Powell testifies in front of Congress. Now, this is really an important event because traders are looking to some of the nuances he uses in his words to shed some light into the direction of the Fed as to future interest rate rising or keeping steady. So that's something to really pay attention to, and I expect the markets to be volatile today. Now, looking at the Forex markets, the dollar got weaker versus the major pairs, especially against the euro. That was a really great trade. We picked it up yesterday and mentioned it yesterday. Looking at the indices, Dow Jones has an amazing intraday volatility day, great for scalpers, and I think today's going to continue that. Now, looking at the commodities, gold and oil both rallied quite nicely. We'll take a look at that as well. And the stocks remain and hold their ground despite the vast volatility we had yesterday. Lastly, looking at Bitcoin, I didn't mention it here, but it sold off quite sharply yesterday. We'll take a look at that as well. So let's see what we can expect from today's trading. If you refer to yesterday's market review, we did mention this, okay? We're looking here at the Euro USD on a daily chart, and this is why you've got to look at daily charts and different time frame charts, to give you that cue. And sure enough, we mentioned this yesterday to start buying lightly around this area of 12-ish level, 112-ish level. And sure enough, it bounced over 63 pips between yesterday and today. So that's a really great rally for the Euro USD. And, looking at a 1 hour chart, that was a great little trade, okay? Pulling out $300-400 of a trade like this was very, very simple, okay? Less than one lot volume would have given you that. Amazing little rally there. So, with that said, okay, right now we look like we're, a little bit tapering off here, but I would look for some more clues from Fed Chairman Powell today as this continues to trade further today. Now, looking at the GBP USD, same story. We bounced here. Let's look at a 4 hour chart just to give us above that downwards trend line. Okay, we thought we were going to use that as a possible resistance, and sure enough, it breaks above it. So they're not ready to bring this down back to the 123, 120-ish level, but it does look eventually it will get there. Okay, it's just a matter of time before that happens, but right now it's not happening. Okay, it did rally quite nicely. Now, looking at the Aussie USD, a nice little bounce here to 69.72 from 69.20-ish level, about 50 pip bounce. Also a really easy trade right there. And we did mention this yesterday, as it did look like it was, receding a little bit, but, tapering off in the sell-off at 69.20-ish level. So, against all the pairs versus the dollar, it did look like it was, had a nice bounce. Now, looking into today, I question whether or not we'll go back to our highs of 70. Okay, I think we're going to sell off a little bit later today, but I do think also that will remain a little bit volatile today, in light of the fact that Powell will be speaking. Looking at gold here, all right, what's sure enough with gold is that we have found ourselves in a trading range, okay? If we look at the upper range and the lower range, 1420 is your upper range and your lower range is about 1390. Upper range is 1436. So if we do falter this today, we could get back to the 1410-ish level. Okay, that's what I would be looking for today. Okay, ultimately, there are several key points for this to retrace back to. Now, looking at oil, which is really an important commodity, rallied above $60 a barrel. Now, we're entering closer to our Fibonacci retracement there at 62-ish level, okay, but we're only about $1 away from that, so keep that in mind. $1, 40 cents, 30 cents away from that, so keep that in mind as we do close that in. Okay, that might actually be a decent trade today. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, we had a very volatile day yesterday. Okay, we traded close to the 26,700-ish level. I did mention that this was support, and then a nice rally to 26,970-ish level, and then tapering off. Okay, so a big day yesterday in the Dow Jones, but I don't think we're ready to break above the 27,000 area. Now, got to wait for the stocks to do that. Looking at Facebook, we're back on our above $200 range, okay, which is only about 10 to 15 points off of our all-time highs. Looking at Microsoft also on their highs, looking at Amazon on its highs, but it really has to show us that it's getting closer to that all-time highs and breaking above it. Otherwise, I think we're going to sell off in August, as that is generally a sell-off month. So keep that in mind as this continues to trade. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, we did get that sell-off yesterday after rallying to the 13,000 mark and rallying and selling off quite sharply to 11,400-ish level. But this is really volatile, so you got to keep an eye on it, really in intraday, just to catch that momentum. It's okay to chase a little bit in order to catch that momentum. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.